Winter Friends by Harmony Pie. Diamond Ice. Good morning, darling. What in tarnation? My eyes flew open, and I broke through the warm cocoons and pillows with yawn. Oh, the old blankets clung snugly round my stomach like a snake, and I cursed the interruption of my sleep. Rolling over, my gaze landed on the clock, and I groaned inwardly. Oh, Rarity, I muttered to myself, swinging my hooves around the floorboards. That pony better have a good reason for waking me up so darn early. Applejack! The voice called again, and I stumbled to the windowsill, squinting at the blinding white snow. Against the sparkling ice stood the alabaster unicorn, wearing the biggest grin I've ever seen. She gave me a little wave with her hoof, beckoning me outside. I pried the window open, shivering as the cold wind air swept into my room. It was pretty refreshing, though. I leaned out, clapped my hooves together. Oh, yes, Rary? It wasn't like I was sleeping or nothing, I called, watching her pout. Just for a while, Applejack. Come outside. It is absolutely gorgeous, she gushed, doing a little twirl in her red and white coat. I feel like we're hardly spending any time together. Just the two of us. For whatever reason, I flushed at that, bringing my head back. Modesty, right? Sure, Rares, I responded eloquently, a smile lifting up my lips. Just give me a minute. I pulled shut my window, carefully bringing my hoof up to my forehead. The subtle warmth had faded, thankfully. She was just saying she wanted to hang out, of course. I shook my head, my golden hair flying down my shoulders, as I turned around to the closet. Upon inspection, I realized I had almost nothing to wear for winter clothes. The bare wooden walls mocked me as I rubbed my chilled fur in frustration. That blizzard had been mighty surprising, bringing about a whole heap of snow from the Everfree Forest. Granny, Bloom, and Meg had been stuck in the train heading back from the fair. Even Rainbow has been impressed by the storm's awesomeness. Gravy and corn sticks, I grumbled, peering into the mothbally darkness and swiping out a lone, dusty scarf. I brought it into the light, sneezing at the deep red material. Achoo! Celestia knows how old that thing was, but I had to admit, it looks pretty good around my neck. It would have to do. Sighed. I brought back my mane in its usual low ponytail, making sure to smooth out the fuzz on top of the mirror. What? I froze, staring at my glossy reflection. Since when did Applejack care what she looked like? I rolled my eyes to the silliness of my copy, snatching my worn hat off the wall and tucking it over my doesn't matter if it's freezing or not hair. Rarity was probably impatient, and I knew from her many lessons to never keep a lady waiting. Giving my mirror the cold shoulder, I creaked open my door and trod quickly down the wooden stairs. What did this girl have in mind? I haven't played in the snow since I was a filly. When I reached the outside door, I was greeted with the same coldness and a pile of snow up to my knees. Grimacing, I gingerly dipped a foreleg in. Holy Celestia was brutal! But Rarity had made somehow, and so would I. Sucking in the breath, I trudged through the snow, each step causing more than the might of pain to jolt up my legs. The things I do for this mare! I collapsed before Rarity, shuddering with each movement. How can you make me do that? I guessed, glancing up at her beseechingly. Rarity bit her lip in mirth, her shimmering diamond blue eyes coming to meet my own. Oh, terribly sorry, darling, she amended with a lopsided smile. I do believe I forgot to carve a path for you. It took me a moment to realize she had offered me a helping hoof, to which I took gratefully. Carve me a path? I asked with a raised eyebrow, a little bit of warmth spraying through the hoof she had grasped. Rarity motioned downward, and it was at that moment that I took notice of the ground and the lack of snow on it. My mouth dropped open.
I just levitated most of the snow and placed it far over there,
she explained, motioning far in the distance.
It was getting to be quite a hassle.
Oh, golly, I breathed, sliding closer and poking Rarity in the chest. Looks like someone's been hiding his little talent. Rarity went crimson. I chuckled, with my hoof. Oh, don't need to tell me, Rares. This really is quite the amazing job here, I said, finding some sort of delight in her flustered expression.
Yes, well, thank you, Applejack,
she finally responded, sweeping back her thin coat.
However, I have called you here for a matter of great importance that cannot be delayed by talking magic abilities,
she intoned, staring at me seriously, her muzzle scrunched up in the most adorable way. I coughed an E. You have? She hummed.
We are now pony warriors, one against the other in a duel.
She leaned closer to my ear, causing my muscles to tighten involuntarily.
Warriors, yes we are, darling, and I shall make the first move, she whispered,
her velvety fur brushing against my cheek. Why was my face so hot? I was sure I was burned up from the inside out. Why? It wasn't like something smashed into the side of my head, causing me to cry in surprise. I heard delicate little giggles and whirled around to see Rarity holding the snowball in her magic. I blinked, slowly and carefully wiping off the snow. Rarity's playful smirk softened, and she lowered her guard.
Are you alright? I didn't mean to hurt you or anything, darling. I just wanted to...
Attack the marshmallow! I shrieked, leaping into the air and gathering a mass of snow in my hooves. Rarity squeaked, ducking away at the last second.
You ruffian!
She teased, blowing snow dust up my face. I grinned, backing away a couple steps. I had a much more practical idea. I collected a pile of snow from the side and stacked it in a sort of fort, sticking my tongue out at the enemy. Rarity huffed, giving me a wink that sent butterflies to my stomach. Her horn lit up, and with a flick of her mane, she started melting the snow before her. I folded my arms across my chest, jerking out of the way as Rarity launched another attack. I threw a snowball as high as I could reach, and heard a squeak from the other side of the wall. You're gonna have to do better than that, Missy, if you want to beat me, I cried out, peering around the edge. Rarity was silent for a moment, but of course she had something planned. A ball of snow about the size of my head rose above the wall in a blue aura. My eyes widened as it started to gain speed. Rarity! I dashed across the yard, the giant snowball hot on my tail, followed by the maniac unicorn. I soon followed that, to my chagrin. Rarity only cleared a position, and I was quickly trapped by the taller hill of white. Dang nabbit! Ah! Rarity shouted gratefully, pouncing on my vulnerable form and pinning me to the ground. I struggled, but only managed to get a face full of snow. I guess, let out a laugh. Bye, Rarity, you win. Rarity rolled off of me.
Thank you,
she gasped, as we lay side by side, staring at the golden-rimmed sky. Her chest rose up and down rapidly. Let me know never cross you, all right? She giggled, closing her eyes and breathing deeply.
Applejack, have you ever been tired of what every pony expects of you?
She asked suddenly. I flapped my ears. Actually, yeah. My family usually expects me to work the hardest. Sometimes it's just nice to get away from everything. I glanced across at her. This was nice. Rarity nodded.
Yes, it was. I had a long night of dresses for a client, and I suppose I just gave up,
she said simply. I shrugged. Nothing wrong with that, Rarity, I assured. Rarity smiled.
And I'm glad I got to spend that time with you,
she told me, placing her hoof over mine gently. I stiffened, shivering at her touch for some reason. Rarity snapped up.
Oh my poor dear, you must be freezing without a coat!
She sat up without hesitation and pulled off her own coat, hoofing it to me. I bit my lip. It's fine, Rarity. Really, I don't need it. I just don't have anything for the season yet, I protested, pushing her off our way. Rarity shook her head.
No, I insist, darling. I have so many others at home. You deserve this.
Yeah. She moved closer to me, wrapping the coat around my body and slipping my forelegs through. Felt like heaven. As much as I wouldn't tell Rarity, I had been a bit cold. Thanks, I stuttered, breathing in the fabric. It smelled wonderful. A flower perfume and marshmallows.
Of course,
she replied lightly, brushing back her styled indigo mane. She leaned forward, enveloping me in a warm hug. My cheeks lit up with a fiery heat, and my heart pounded radically as her face brushed against mine. Shoot! I couldn't deny anymore. Shoot! 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 I was in love.